Please give it up for Josh DiDonato.
Shelby Farrow. That's her. I've heard a lot of people say this before. This ain't my first rodeo, but I don't think I've ever heard anybody ever say, "This is my last rodeo." I just want to thank you guys for all the support over the last 17 years. We've had a pretty good run, but I promised I wasn't gonna cry. This shall be my final rodeo. Flacco, you may release the bull. What an awesome crowd. Give yourselves a hand, would you? And I'll take credit. Like you're helping me good. So if you ever in like a crowded bar and you say to somebody like, "Hey, is it cool if I sit here?" And people say, some people say, "Go ahead, it's a free country," right? I was thinking, like, I wonder if when you go to other places, if there's an equivalent phrase, like if you're in a bar in Syria. And you're like, "Hey, is it cool if I sit here?" If people say, "Go ahead, it's a dictatorship, nobody cares what you do. We'll probably all be murdered in our sleep one day, so take a load off, relax for now." Rick Overton was talking about the pots being legal, which I'm glad that I don't have to set it up because I was like, maybe they don't know that pot is sort of legal. It's going to be full-on legal in the next few years. You know, it just is. Does it matter? Does it really matter? You know what I mean? Like, if you love pot, you will find and smoke pot, right? Has that not always been the case? Nobody's ever said like, "Oh, my friend gave me this awesome joint for my birthday, but no, it's illegal." Flush. I want to be groovy, but the laws of the land are more important. Nobody's ever said that. It's going to be full-on legal in this country in the next few years, I think. And the interesting thing about that to me is that means that, like, in the future, guys, like 15, 20 years from now, there are going to be parents who sit their kids down and say, "You know, you kids have it so easy. When I was your age, when we wanted pot, we had to call a guy. We couldn't just go down to Costco and buy a bunch. Sometimes we would have to wait 3 or 4 hours until we got our pot. And we'd have to hang out with the guy. Have you ever sat and listened to an hour and a half of Dave Matthews Band covers on acoustic guitar to get your drugs? No, you haven't suffered. There was no picnic. And you know how we used to have to do our pot? We used to have to smoke it. Yeah. We couldn't get it in a soda or a lip balm or a topical cream. Smoking's bad for you, Bobby. Don't you ever let me catch you smoking your pot. You eat it or drink it or rub it on yourself like everybody else. That is how we get high in this house, young man. If I find out you've been smoking your pot, you will lose your spaceship privileges. And when you want to take your robot girlfriend to watch a poor person get executed, you'll be on the bus, mister. Maybe you didn't catch this is in the future. This part of the joke is in the future. I don't know if... That's me. That's on me. I don't know if the guys here will relate to this, but I think I'm becoming my dad because I've noticed that I've started to impregnate women and vanish without being responsible for the baby. What can I say? That's how the old man didn't raise me. That's literally the manner in which the old man did not raise me. Okay. Thank you, Alex Pauly. It's I mean, I grew up without a dad, and that's not the funniest part. At least you're not wooing. I've had somebody woo when I said I grew up without a dad. Like, woo! You too. All right. No, but it's weird because there's a lot of like dad. I didn't get a lot of dad stuff. You know, like I don't like have a real strong macho thing. You know, I know you're like no, but Josh, you're very manly. I appreciate your vibe that you're beaming telepathically. I think. But there's a lot, like, I don't know, like a lot of guys have like like a proving thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like the fight or flight response, I am 100% flight. 100%. Seriously, if there's a potential fisticuffs situation, I will run. I will scurry from anything like that. And, you know, I mean, if I'm with a lady and I have to protect the honor of a lady, I'll take her with me. You know, I'm not a monster. You know, but it's just like, come on, let's go. Let's check out this place across the street. Catch up. Well, okay, here's the thing. You might see somebody on this stage tonight who's better at the stand-up comedy than I am. You probably will. You might see somebody who's better at the sexual intercourse than myself. But you will not run into somebody who's better at cuddling than this guy. Yeah, I've been killing it in the cuddling game for a while. And I just think about it a lot. I just think about the physics and the mechanics of cuddling and cuddle strategy, you know. And when I say cuddle strategy, I don't mean like cuddling to get sex, because I think that's a lot of guys' cuddle strategy. But like, which I've never done, you know. Like I think I've slept with 2 women who I didn't want to sleep with because I thought they'd be pretty good at cuddling. I want to talk about the arm situation. Pardon me. With cuddling, the arm situation, if you've ever cuddled, you've got to know what I'm talking about. Well, first of all, every cuddle session I've been in has been a 2-person, just so you know. Just kind of traditionalist in that sense. But every time I've cuddled, I feel like I'm pretty fucking good. At some point, I've had the thought, you know, there's one too many arms here. I've never been cuddling and thought, you know, 5 or 6 arms would be great right now. And I don't know, I've thought about this for a while, but like, I've never dated a one-armed woman, but I think I gotta try it. You know what I mean? They've gotta be so fucking good at cuddling. Oh my God. They've gotta be the best, right? I'm almost afraid to try it because I feel like I'll be too into it. It'll become like a fetish for me, and I can only date one-armed chicks, and I'm not ready for that. And now, I know what you're thinking. Why don't you focus on what you can bring to the cuddle party, Josh? And you're right. And I'm thinking about doing that. I think I am going to amputate one of my arms, get a prosthetic, but like one of the nice ones, you know, so I can like do my banking and check my Facebook and like download some music and stuff. And get into the boudoir, pop that thing off. I just extended my cuddle range, bitches. Yeah. And then, but now you're thinking, but then you can only really easily go to one side, and yeah, I think I do amputate both arms. And you guys probably feel kind of stupid that you didn't think of this idea, but don't do that to yourself. You just don't think about cuddling as much as I do. Bunch of sex havers. Sex havers, yeah. A lot of you. All right. Okay, so I'm 44 today, and it gets even better. Okay, so I'm single. I own my own home. Never had any kids. Never married. But those last 2, and I'm okay looking. Not like that. But still, like I'm okay looking. Funny some nights. I feel like I'm a catch, but like whenever I am sort of circulating the dating world, the fact that I've never been married and have never had any kids just makes me a huge asshole at this age somehow. Because every time those stats get mentioned, why? Why have you never been married? And it's like, I feel like getting married is something you need a reason to do. You know what I mean? Not a reason not to have done. And it's like, just because I didn't make a hasty decision and like ruin someone else's lives and have to pay for a smaller human, like I'm an asshole. No, smaller humans are great, but I get less props than like somebody who's had a horribly failed marriage. You know what I mean? Yeah, you talk to some people, you're like, you ever been married? Like, yeah, we were married for 6 months, And she's a horrible cocaine addict. She stole $30,000 from me. And people are like, oh, that's so bad. They're not like, you fucked up. You're bad at decisions. They never say that to those people. Anyway, so it just sometimes it makes me feel like I wish I had a dead wife. You know what I mean? Because no, then I get like a little more respect. I mean, whatever. Maybe it's not too late for me. You know, maybe I can still get a dead wife. I was thinking about putting like a Craigslist posting, like financially stable man seeks terminally ill woman, No, I can support you for the rest of your short life. I'm the nice person in this situation. I'm gonna take care of somebody and just forget it. Donnie Devanian was talking about being a baseball fan, and I know we're all kind of sad that we're missing Zach Greinke starred at Dodger Stadium tonight, and I'm with you. What? You're like, what? Before I go, I'm just gonna read this thing. I had this audition on Monday for this. I am a baseball fan, a Dodger fan, and the Time Warner cable station has this Dodger channel, and they have the show called Planet Dodgers coming up, and I'm hoping to be the fan representative. So I had to come up with like a day's worth of baseball scores. In sports writing, I don't know if you noticed it, but when you have like a day's worth of baseball games, you can't just say like the Mets beat the Phillies 3-1, the Giants beat the Yankees 2-3. Well, whatever. I've noticed that they use a lot of really violent imagery, like destroyed or pulverized or murdered, and I kind of felt like a different writing style that I'm trying to develop for my sports writing career, so I'm just going to read this. So this is just a day's worth of baseball scores. Thanks for bearing with me. All right. Here are the scores from yesterday. The Rangers fingered the Astros 1-0. The Pirates beat the Cubs off 3-2. The Rays gave the Marlins crabs 8-1. The Brewers dick-teased the Mets 12-11. The Indians Cleveland steamed the Blue Jays 13-2. The Tigers jacked off into the White Sox 9-4. The Cardinals did the Diamondbacks doggy style in a come-from-behind victory 6-5. The Nationals jizzed all over the Rockies' tits 6-4. The Twins shot down the Phillies' request for a threesome 5-1. The Padres experimented with anal beads with the Reds, but decided it wasn't for them 4-2. The Athletics got tantric with the Braves 10-9 in a 19-inning win. Turns out the Braves are a squirter. The Dodgers took both games of the doubleheader against the Giants, penetrating them anally in the day game 8-1 and vaginally in the nightcap 3-2. I should cut that one, right? The Orioles hooked up with the Angels' best friends, even though they swore so many times that they weren't attracted to them 12-2. There was a 2-hour rain delay in Seattle where neither the Mariners nor the Royals were able to consistently maintain their erections. They're going to try again tonight. Our thoughts and prayers go out to both teams. And finally, the Red Sox were on their period, but still decided to fuck the Yankees 16-0. Jeter went 0 for 4. Thanks a lot, guys.